So what is a good work? We are only to work or to act on things which have these characteristics. That are valuable, that are beautiful, and that are honest. If we would follow through with these characteristics in anything that we say and anything that we do in the church, our ministries will be successful. Let's give you an example. Or let's look at an example. A month, maybe between a month and 2 months ago, we had the country fair at the ball field. We said, let's do something to reach our community. All right, well, let's ask this question. Was there any value to it? All right, here's the value of it. There's a bunch of folks that never set foot in this church. And it's not just us. They won't go to any of them. There are people in our community that no matter what we do or what we say, will not just take it upon themselves to come to church. So where's the value in it? The value was that we left this building, went down the road, and took the church to them so that they could come mingle with us. They could come meet with us and see us for who we are so that they don't have to be intimidated or scared. There's great value in taking the church to where the people are. What are the other characteristics? Beautiful? There's value. Beautiful. It's beautiful that they got to see us for who we really are. It's a beautiful sight to see us being who we claim to be and who we are, that we didn't have to put on a front, we didn't have to act, we didn't have to be somebody we weren't. We could go and exchange the love of Christ or be in an exchange with them, showing the love of Christ. To me, that's a beautiful thing. We fed them, we let them play and didn't charge them anything. We met their physical needs and a hope to be in a place where we could meet their spiritual needs. That's beautiful and honest. We weren't out there faking. We weren't pretending to be something we weren't. We weren't trying to be somebody we weren't. We were just out there being ourselves, giving them an honest look at who we are. So no matter whether they meet us on the ball field or in the church house, we are who we are, and we gave them an honest glimpse of who we claim to be. That's a good work. It says that we should be profitable, that this should be profitable for all men. What does it mean to be profitable? It means to be helpful and beneficial. Everything that we say, everything that we do as a church should be profitable, it should be beneficial, it should be helpful for the kingdom of God. That goes for good stuff. And it helps us evaluate bad stuff. Because guess what? There's a lot of things out there that are good ministries, that are good opportunities. But guess what, people? We can't physically nor financially do every good work out there. There are things out there that are great for the kingdom of God that we can't support, that we can't participate in. But we have to evaluate what it is God's called us as a congregation to do and support. We can't do it all. As much as I would love to, as much as I'd love to support every ministry out there, we can't do it. But what we can do is find leadership from God and figure out what it is He's called us as a congregation to do and do it the best that we can so that God can bless it. And if we'll use these characteristics, if we'll evaluate everything that we do through these lenses to see if it's valuable, beautiful, and honest, it'll help. But everything that goes on in the church doesn't meet these requirements. Did you know that? Everything that goes on in the church house isn't always beneficial. It's not always the best thing for the church. So what do we do when somebody wants to do an activity or bring something to your attention that doesn't meet these requirements? What do? How do you act? It may surprise you. Look at verse 9. It says this. But avoid foolish debates, genealogies, quarrels, and disputes about the law, for they are unprofitable and worthless. That's some strong language. Avoid foolish disputes, genealogies, contentions, and strivings about the law, for they're unprofitable and useless. What are some of these things? But before we look at what they actually are, let's look at that reaction. What does it mean? What does it mean to avoid? That means just what Let's say there's a situation over here. Let's say there's an activity over here. And you know it's not of God. And you know it's not beneficial. It's not beautiful. It's not productive. The Bible says we are to avoid that. And that means that we are to shun it. We are to stand apart from it. That means that we are literally not to be anything more than a spectator of it. You don't engage it. You avoid it. Pretend it has the plague and stay away from it. So what are these things? Foolish controversy. This is a debate over an issue that is stupid, that is absurd, and that is godless. People will fight over the stupidest things in a church. I have a friend, or I had a friend, I hadn't seen him in a long time, but at one point I was in school with, let me put it that way, I was in school with a guy that was in evangelism. And he said that he had just preached a revival in a church that was on the verge of splitting because for the revival meal they were breaking it up. And different people were bringing different things. There were two ladies in the church that made potato salad. And they were arguing over who was going to bring the potato salad. One group of people liked this lady, this other group liked this lady, and they were literally fighting with each other in the church over who was going to bring potato salad to the meeting. Y'all laugh, but it almost split the church. People will fight over the stupidest things. What if we decide today that we're not going to be that church? That when somebody wants to start something, when somebody wants to start a controversy, when somebody wants to bring something that doesn't belong in the church, what if we decide now we're just going to shun that thing? We're just going to shun it. We're going to avoid it. We're going to be nothing more than a spectator of somebody that wants to do something they shouldn't be doing. Oh, we can't do that. We have to give everybody the freedom to speak. That's what we've been told in the church, hasn't it? Isn't this a democracy? Not a democracy. That's not in the Bible. Genealogies. This is simply a family history. I've dealt with this, and I don't know if anybody else has ever dealt with this. Well, you can't tell me what to do. You know who my dad is? You know who my granddad is? This church wouldn't be who it is, or where it is, or what it is, and it wouldn't have these things if it wasn't for my family, because my dad did this, my granddad did this. Look at what I've done. Has anybody ever dealt with that kind of stuff? God's not impressed. When I stand before God personally, this is what He's going to ask me. What did you do with Jesus? See, my grandfather has passed away, and I had a very godly grandfather who could quote more scripture than anybody I've ever met in my life. But here's not what's going to happen. When I stand before God, He's going to say, oh, you're Mr. Blackledge's grandson. Let me let you in. He's not going to be impressed. And He's not going to be impressed with any of you either, based on who your family is. The only thing He's going to be concerned is, what did you do with Jesus and what did you do for the kingdom of God? Because there are people that will start trouble in the church and take our focus off of winning people to the kingdom of God. And I don't have time to fool with it, and I won't fool with it anymore. I'm just not going to do it. And I'm not going to take the opportunity or take away the opportunity for people in this church to win people to Christ, to let people like that have their say in this church. It's not going to happen again.